if I go back to just be 15 years old, if they ask me, what do you do difference? I would just say nothing. I will exactly do everything the same. And I just do it all up. I will go through all the hardship that I just it's not a hardship. I don't call anything in life as hardship. I will call it a challenge. I will call it an enjoyment while you're having a challenge.
I think the key thing is the fact that you were setting goals and you were doing what you had to do to achieve them. That's the key thing. You like you said, you left Iran to be your own person.
Sure.
And to achieve your own goals.
Yes.
That is the key. There's so many people in Melbourne do you consider Australia as a country and the people here lucky?
Very lucky.
There's someone who's come from Iran, who's seen hardship, but had a good life in Iran, and you had it all laid out. You could have sat there and done, by 30 you could have been doing jack shit because you could have semi-retired by that point.
Sure.
Do you reckon we're lucky here?
In my generation, because my generation, the year of 1980 to 1990, we call it the burn generation, us.
Yeah.
The new generation that are in Iran, some, they're having a hardship, but I believe whatever that they are, even a comfortable society in Iran, I believe Australians are very, very lucky.
Why? How?
Because, first of all, they never...
I love you got this smirk on your face, because I know what you want to say, but you're trying to be diplomatic about it, you know what I mean? That's all right, go.
I want to just explain it in a nice way.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you what
in a way that it makes sense. Australians are very lucky because from the time that they come to this world, there is a strong government behind them. First of all, they have a strong family behind them. Yes. They don't have... Yes, with the family, they're generally, because we will see not all the families are the same.
There are people living below poverty, whatever, but we're not talking about that.
Yes.
Between generally here.
Yes. There is something that they never want to think about what's going to happen there tomorrow. There is always certainty that if they trained, and if they've been educated properly, they will get whatever they want. That is not the case in Iran.
Yeah.
In Iran, most of the stuff, you won't be able to get it because of, I don't know, there's a mafia. There are always some corruptions. There are always something on. It's just happening where there is so many knowledgeable people now leaving that country. All the doctors, all the engineers, all the brains that they are proper. And this is, I think, what's the Western world wants. The Western world wants to attract all these people because this is an asset for the country. Coming to this country, let's say, I'm not just saying that, I'm just so good for this country, but I'm coming to this country and I work really hard and I just I provide and I just work and I just pay tax. And this is an asset rather than somebody that just comes to this country and all he does is just a crime here and there. I always see some people come to this country as legally or illegally and started doing a crime here and there and they are like a problem. But in general, Australians are very lucky in a sense that they know that there's always a stability here for them.
Yeah.
There's always if they work a little bit hard, they can... I know it's harder now to just buy a house compared with 2004.
100%. That's just inflation and
inflation
whatever.
And what's happening in the world and in the Western world. But in general, they can achieve whatever they want.
There's a safety net. Australia has a safety net for everyone, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why when you just see during those cultures, Middle Eastern cultures, mainly, especially Iranian, they're always working. They're buying 2 houses, 3 houses, 5 houses, 10 houses. You will see, for example, sometimes I go to Iran, my brother always called me that I'm stupid, that I left. And when I asked why, I said, look, you could have had everything here. Why did you leave? You could have had a luxury life here. He has 10 cars in his house. He's got more than 20 penthouses now all over Iran. He has piano. He loves playing piano. He has got grand pianos everywhere that he goes because he has got
his
money.
His living room has a grand piano. His kitchen has a grand piano.
No, for example,
I'm just picturing a penthouse filled with pianos.
He has got a house in Dubai. He's got a piano there. He's got a house in Shiraz. He's got a piano there. He's got one in Tehran. He's got one in north of Iran.
Is he still importing and exporting stuff?
There is one brand called Daikin, which is a Japanese brand. This belongs to him, which has got a whole agency of that brand.
Daikin as in the air conditioners? And
Daikin as in clutch, disc and cover. So those Toyota 86, when they come out of the factory, there's the Daikin they're an OEM that they do for Toyota and Nissan and Mazda and also Subaru. So but most of his work is not construction. He just like, he builds luxury houses and has a very comfortable life as well. But I'm not regretting on doing that, because an experience that I have in life is so different from whatever he does.
Yeah, 100%.
Just, I might have so much money, but sometimes I picture myself back, okay, now I'm in Iran, what's going to happen? Okay, I've got so much money here and there, I'm fine, but look, I've got 2 kids, I'm married, whatever, I don't know if I'm happy or
your
not.
Your energy just came right down, man. Your eyes just lost colour. You want a Red Bull?
No, poor guy. The thing, look, I'm 43 years old, and I enjoy being the way that a life is, and I want to enjoy every part of this life. I want to enjoy. I don't believe in sort of like okay, if you find a nice girl, yeah, you will marry it, but this is not the end of the world.
It's not the be-all and end-all, man.
It's not. Like, I know, like, most of the people that are married, they're just unhappy, and they're not, they think, what did I do? But because this come back to the same story as when you're born, you follow whatever your parent tells you to do and follow whatever your parent religion is. Because your parent is Muslim, you should be a Muslim. So as you grow up, you have to just have a kid in certain age. But once you have an understanding of, yes, once you want to have it, then you will have it. I'm a single guy, but if I get married one day, yes, I'll make sure that I'm going to provide everything for my child. Why? Because I didn't have anything in my life when I was little. And I want them to have everything. And I know how hard it is. I remember I was 5-6 years old, and I had shoes for a year. And those shoes, which you have to just have like a tie knot or whatever on it. And we had to travel, and that came off because
it was just worn, yeah.
Yeah, it was worn, so it came off. For like 6 months, I was just like wearing the shoe, like hanging it. Just, I know, I'm just like, when I was just driving, I said, Mom, when are you going to buy me shoes, Mom? And like, just not now. You behave so badly with the shoes. You're going to get punished for that.
I actually, dude, it's funny you say that. I just remember one of my earliest memories, not earliest memories, but I was about 9. My mum bought me a pair of Reebok pumps. Yeah. I used to play basketball when I was a kid. These were very important. Yeah. Like, you're a 10-year-old kid, you need the Reebok pumps. Then I played soccer in them, which you shouldn't be doing, but I only had one pair of shoes. We had Greek parents in the early 90s. It was like, how many shoes are you going to buy? You get one pair. Wear them for everything. That's it. And they split because, you know, you're kicking soccer balls with them, footies and stuff, and they split.
Yeah.
And my mum cracked it. She's like, these were expensive. Like, these were very expensive shoes. What the hell did you do? I did nothing. I wear them. And so she took fishing line and treaded them, like, from the sides, so they wouldn't come apart.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting another pair of shoes.
No.
Not until my next birthday.
No, that is correct. No, well, I remember, back those days, if I wanted to, because I used to play a lot of soccer, if I wanted to play soccer, I always used to go naked with my foot. So, and I was running until I getting blisters in my shoe, but I didn't mind it because I didn't want to destroy that shoes. So it was okay. So, university finished, PhD finished, and I went to Hong Kong in a trip, and I saw a very good professor where he connected me. So it was a conference for MTR. I just went going there to just, because my expertise of PhD was in railway and trains. So MTR is sort of like a Hong Kong, sort of like a metro system. Just was there for a conference, and I just like saw the professor, and he connected me with a few people with like just business ideas. And I love like business ideas. I love to just always somebody come and tell me, hey, we're gonna do this together. Do you want to do it? Blah blah blah. And then we start like brainstorming and come up with a new idea. And then I started my own business. This was back in 2016, 2017, and I started doing really, really well. The importing from. Well, we were a group of like about 600 people, which gathering all up together. Chinese group was very big. It was China, Japan, Macau, Hong Kong, and Taiwan.
And then you.
and then I was in Australia. I was doing really well. Australia is a very small nation in sort of population, so you wouldn't get enough of like whatever that you wanted to come here compared with China and Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is a very fast-paced sort of like a society. I killed it. I got very successful. I was able to just like buy a house in like less than like 1 year. I did, well, when I say house, like as in just like as a mortgage sort of situation. And
no one buys a house and owns it. Never. Not in our age anyway. Like,
Correct.
it doesn't happen.
That is correct. That is correct. Well, they. I mean, I wouldn't say in Australia, but
No. Anyway,
And-
it happens. But
yeah,
typically, when you buy a house, the bank bought it.
Yeah,
they're
sure.
they're leasing it to me.
True. In Iran is the same. If you want to buy a house or something, the government doesn't, the bank doesn't give you any loan. So you have to pay it all in cash. So if I'm telling my brother, I've got all the stuff and all his kids, they live in Dubai. I've got 3 kids, 3 sons. I think they live in Dubai and they have 4 or 5 houses everywhere, all over Dubai and businesses. So they're extremely successful. They drive a luxury cars and they always tell me every time I go to Dubai, I was in Dubai 5-6 months ago and they would tell me, why do you waste your time in Australia? Come here. We just connect you with somebody and you can go on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, maybe not. I'm happy where I am. Because
What is it? What is it about Australia?
every time that I travel overseas, I miss here. I don't know what that is, but I feel like here is home.
My mum was in India last year, and we both did the same trip, just separate times of the year. I was in Greece, Morocco, Spain, Portugal, and she went to Morocco, Spain, Portugal, and then she went to India on the way back a bit later on. And before she left, I said, "You ready?" She says, "Yeah, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. It'll be good." I go, "Yeah." I go, "It's going to be different." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm ready." I'm like, "Okay." She got back. I said, "How'd you go?" She goes, "It was nothing like I'd ever seen in my life." I go, "What do you mean?"
True.
I couldn't. She goes, "This the abject poverty." She goes, I couldn't, you couldn't escape it." I go, "Yeah." I go, I've seen it. I went to the Philippines. I was in Manila, went to Cambodia. I go, I've been in Jakarta in between massive palaces and slums.
Sure,
I go,
sure.
You're only seeing it now for the first time at 77. I go, you've lived in Melbourne for 50 years.
That is correct.
And she goes, I go, "Would you go again?" She goes, "No, not to India." I go, but she cut me off. She goes, "But I don't regret going, and everyone needs to see it."
No, that is correct. Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like these countries, like you say, I've been and I've seen, and it's the same thing happening in Iran. When you go to Iran, especially now, you will see there is a massive a gap between rich and poor, and you will see these houses are just way more expensive. In Tehran, you can buy a house for about $100 million, $150 million in Tehran, and Tehran is some of the houses are massive and they're expensive.
What's a cheap apartment in anywhere?
In Tehran?
Yeah, let's say Tehran, yeah.
In Tehran, the cheap apartment, if you want to buy in a very good area, if you want to buy an apartment the size of a Melbourne, let's say 2-bedroom apartment, which is about 70 square meters.
I was going to say 75 square meters?
It's about something about $700,000, $750,000.
That's not cheap.
That is not cheap for Iran. But if you go, so once it changes to a house, a land, then the price goes exponential higher because there's not enough of a land in Tehran.
I mean, what's a 2-bedroom apartment worth? Let's say in the city, South Bank, it's $650, isn't it?
650, 700.
And that's in the city,
yes.
Yeah.
So you pay the same amount of money in an average part of Tehran. In a good part of Tehran, you pay something like 1.5, 1.2 million.
75 square meter 2-bedroom apartment.
75 square meter.
Yeah, for that money, you can buy a house with a backyard and a front yard.
Yeah. Like my brother has got a 300 square meter house in a very good part of Tehran, which you just want to knock it down and build about 8 units apartments. The price for that one, he was just doing a 10 something million dollars, which is ridiculous, amount of, and the people has got money there because there is no banking system to just there to give him a loan. It's all cash. So there's so many cash move around the society and goes everywhere here and there. And sometimes this cash gets a lot and the reason is because there's a lot of corruptions. Now, my brother is kind of exceptional how he does the business, but the thing is that because the government's just so corrupted, you will see millions and millions and billions actually dollars just move out of the country. I think when was it about 8 years ago, a guy, just to name it, I don't want to just name him. He ran away. He was let's say a CEO of NAP. He ran away to Canada. He left with $3 billion and he's still living in Canada. He is connected.
They can't extradite him back to Iran?
No. He's still living there. He's got massive development in Toronto and he's having a good life. But the governments are connected to each other because the Interpol can just like go and get them, but somehow Canada doesn't accept Interpol rules or whatever. They don't apply in there or whatever. And still the same happens in Australia. In Australia, there are a lot of like a parliaments and parliament members and stuff, and the kids are here and they're spending millions of dollars in liquidating different company names, and they're buying like casinos and just here and there. So I don't want to just like go through because it leaked for a while, like about 3 years ago, what happened in Australia, but it never actually leaked out. And they all say, oh no, it's fake news, fake news, fake news.
Let me ask you, why do you reckon the line is so different? There's a big divide between poor and rich in Iran. What is the lower economic sort of standard? What is maintaining them there? Like, why? So, if they're all want to work, if they're typically hardworking and look for opportunity, why? What keeps them down?
Well, there is not enough business. Look, that country runs by kind of like a molds, which they just don't know. They some illiterate, just like religious people. Everything they compare with religious scarf here and there. This is all actually show at the front. For 40 years, they're doing that in order to take that away from the country. Like they sell it, then they steal everything, all the gas, all the oil, everything out, and it's all in cooperation with all the big powers. You know, like with I don't know, CIA.
Would you say the lower socioeconomic population in Iran is more moderate when it comes to religion?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah,
yeah.
So more progressives are typically better off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly because if you have a tie in the government, yes. If you've got a hand in the government, yes. But nowadays, what happened is that government system, because the system is changing, they're putting all these corrupted people all in the government. They don't want them to leave. A lot of them are running away and leaving and whatever, but because they want to just like capture them in one area as in council in here, and they're all these corrupted people. So later on, when the regime changes, they can arrest them in one night, dismantle them, and they bring a new system in. Because it's an 85 million country, it's a massive country, it's 85 million, and they don't want it to create any war or any like a hassle or any like dramas, because there's so many ethnicities and so many groups there. So if that government finishes, they are going to be massive bombs goes off everywhere, because there's so many groups of people. They're just trying to take, because Iran, you know, some part of Iran are Arabic. Some part is Sunni, some part is Shia, some part is like, most of the part is Shia.
Shia is the predominant fan of Islam.
Yes, correct, yeah. Shia, yeah. And then some part like a Kurdish, they want to be like separated. Some part like, and they've got a different culture, different language, and they all want to be separated. So that country going to get separated. It's just all going to be, you know, like into pieces. And the government doesn't want that to happen, because they wanted to just like invest it in the future for themselves. So just to give an example, in Shah regime, when the regime changed in 1979, Shah knew that he has to leave in 1975. 3-4 years before, he knew that he has to leave because he talked too much. And it's always a start with media, you know, like a BBC went there, he talked too much. He said, yeah, I'm going to just sell the oil more. Kissinger went there. Kissinger was the brain of United States. He just went there and he goes, you know what? Don't do this. They're going to cut you out. They're going to cut your tail. You're just fighting with globalists. He didn't listen. He just kicked out. Go ahead. England brought in all this religious, and they just made that country for 40 years to go through this process in order for the people to learn for the next generation, because this is history always repeating itself. So I started doing business.
Yeah, sorry. Come back.
Hong Kong. Doing really well until 2020. What happened was that just COVID happened and border closed. Mine was like mainly international, going back or forward. I couldn't do any more business. I lost a lot of things. Like, I had a very good life. I had a very luxury car, you know, like I just shopping all the time.
New Commodore or something?
No, I had a Porsche Panamera. I had like a Porsche Panamera Turbo with like a few years, and I was just like traveling, just doing things. So once that happened, I just thought I took this opportunity while this is like in lockdown here, and I just go and see my family just back in Iran. And actually, so I went back to Iran. I was supposed to stay a couple of months until the the restrictions and quarantine finishes or whatever. And then
18 months.
It took 18 months. So I left in Iran for 15 months. I couldn't come back to Australia because the border were closed. They wouldn't allow me to come back. So my business just like went down. My car left there. My house like is all left. And I was like, you know what? I lost everything, so I'm going to just like do something else. So then I thought to myself, you know what? I'd rather enjoy my time with my family, because back in Iran, it wasn't like any quarantine or any of as those systems. So I spent some time with them. It was really bad because I lost my business, but it was really good because I started liking Iran. I started to like feel who I am again and where I'm coming from and what is the people's culture. And, you know, like now I'm living in a way that my family is just a little bit more comfortable now, you know, like I'm living in a very good part of Tehran and just like can just like do things here.
How frequently were you going back to Iran in the years before that?
Before then, I didn't go back for about 10 years, 11 years.
At all?
At all, I didn't go. Instead, so I rather know, like, you know what? Because when I left, my brother actually warned me that if you go and got defeated and you just like went down, just don't freaking come back because you're stupid. I like
loving, warm, supportive family.
Supportive family, yeah. Like, you know what? You gone. You're on your own. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to lose. I don't mind. These are
big families, man. All the same. You're not doing what I said to do, so don't ever come back again.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you love me? Besides the point.
I actually didn't talk to that brother for like, what, 8 years.
Shit, man.
Not that I was angry, that he was angry with me, so I was scared. Because I got a lot of smack from him when I was little. So. Yeah, no, I got a lot of smack from my brothers because he was always, it was like a military in my family because I have like 6 brothers, which they're young, older than me. So they were just like, if I wasn't obeying the laws and rules, I remember I sit at a table. Well, we weren't sitting on the table. We were sitting on the ground because we didn't have a table when we were little. So my mom used to make like a plate the size of this. Yeah. With rice and chicken and everything on the top. So we're putting all our head in it. 2 minutes later, we're coming back up and everything was gone. He's like a cartoon, you know. It's just like a survival.
Forks.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There is no fork. There's like a spoon. And I never remember just like, cause I couldn't eat chili. So my brother was throwing a little bit of chili in front of me. He was like, eat this. It's really good. And then I was eating chili and we're like, this is so hot. And I was like getting kicked out of the game. No more food for me. That's why I was very skinny all the time because I couldn't defeat.
Man, why didn't you go back in the 10 years? Like,
so because I'd rather travel the other countries. I said to myself, you know what? If I'm going to go all the way and pay the ticket, because I didn't have much money when I was here. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to just like work really hard and I save $5,000, $3,000, I'd rather go to Japan, go to Korea, go to Philippines, go to all these Asian countries, go to South America, go to America, you know, like. Yeah. I went to America and I stayed in America for 6 months because every Iranian dreamed to go to America. I had a J1 visa for like exchange student when I was, that was back in 2009. And just America came out of the financial crisis. So it was really bad there. So I went to San Jose in Silicon Valley. So I stayed in San Jose State University for 6 months. And that was very good. At the start, I got really shocked at how shit is this. Like, you know, I was like, America is so shit. It's so bad. What's happening
shit
here?
Is this?
Yeah. This, like,
you're coming from Iran. You've seen Iran during the war. How shit is Silicon Valley?
No, but the thing is, because all I was seeing was like a poor people was just like lying outside of like a school, and I got followed like more than 10 times because I bought these nice jackets, which I really loved it. It was like a leather sort of GR jacket from, I can't remember, Zara or Massimo Dutti or something. Yeah. And I went there and I had this jacket for like about 5-6 years and I was wearing it everywhere, even in nightclub, bars, anything. So I used to love it. And I used to get followed a lot at nighttime by a lot of like people there. And they were aggressive. They're coming with a knife. Sometimes a couple of occasions I saw them just having a gun or something. So it was like really, really hard on that city. And San Jose is called Man Jose. It's not a San Jose because there's so many mans there. So I was like, why? Why did I leave Melbourne and come here? America used to be like supposed to be a Hollywood, supposed to be, you know, like a Hollywood Boulevard.
I remember, man, I was in America. We were in San Diego, and there was just homeless people That was the first. Let's go get some food. Walk down to the local pizza shop. It was tent city, man. And I was like, where are we, man? Like, and there was bail bondsmen everywhere as well.
Yeah.
Like, the hell? And then I remember we got to Hollywood and it looked like just a crack den. Like Sunset Strip was just crackheads and, and my dad called me and he said, the first thing he said was, where are you? I said, I'm in LA. He goes, what's it like? I go, what do you mean? He goes, is it like the movie? Is it like TV? Like all that shit? I go, nah, man. I go, it's ghetto. Okay, everything's ghetto.
Now, and I believe, like, because I was living in San Jose, is right close to San Francisco. So San Francisco is more of a liberal country. So I liked it better than sort of like San Jose.
I like San Fran. Yeah.
And San Diego is much better than San Jose. San Jose was like, I don't know, it was like a weird, like police all the time. There are a lot of like corrupted and gangs and shootings and just like all the time I was like hearing it. And I just saw it in a couple of times, which they were just attacking these gangs and police with, I don't know, they had all these German shepherds just coming out of the car and just like throwing on these, like, I was like, why did I leave Australia?
I was going to say, just picture you with like a hot dog just eating on the side of the street, like, what am I doing here? How different was Iran going back, like, at the start of COVID, like seeing it for the first time in 10 years? As an adult, as a proper adult as well.
Sure. Shiraz changed a little bit in this matter of roads and everything. Well, family was way more comfortable for sure. The whole society was worse. Like,
really?
Yes. There was a massive gap between poor and rich. Massive, yes. Even like 5 months ago when I was there, this is one of the reasons which I cannot live in Iran anymore. For now, that's why I'm just hoping for the change. And I believe that it's going to be a change because I cannot see a lot of poverty on the street. I cannot see that a lot of, like, people are angry. They are not happy anymore. Yes, you go to a good area of, like Shiraz, a good area of Tehran. Yes, you will see that people are just, of course, the families are connected here and there. They're driving Mercedes-Benz and Ferraris and and by the way, the car prices are 10 times more expensive than Australia. Like if you buy a BMW here for $50,000 in Iran, it's like about $500,000.
Jesus Christ!
It's because of that government charges a lot of like a taxes,
tariffs and stuff,
and everything. It's like I think 150% tariff, and it's the import of the car is not allowed because they want to support the production of Iranian cars.
What do they produce in Iran?
Well, Peugeot 206, Peugeot 407, some modified from 1990, 1995. Those old cars. That's why I believe the car production in Iran belongs to France. All the money goes to France. And all the oil and gas goes to England. And all our drug and medicine goes, when I say goes, the money all goes to Germany. So these are...
So what's left for Iran?
Nothing. Look.
Shit.
Just to give you an example of how the people live there right now is that in Iran, a bank clerk makes something like about $300 per month.
$300
per month, $300 to $400 per month. This is what a bank clerk makes, and you imagine he has to buy a house for $700,000. So impossible.
My brain just broke, man.
Impossible. And then you will see somebody, let's say, makes like $5 million a day because they sell some corrupted oil, whatever, just like in Dubai. And you have to go to Dubai to see. Dubai has built by Iranian money. From, I don't know if you know Hashemi Rafsanjani. This just like name I shouldn't just like, he got killed I think a few years ago. He was like a president of Iran, and when Khomeini came to power in revolution, he was his right hand. Okay. But he was the one who created all this chaos and created these hijabs, and they made in this mafia. It's like a whole story. If I just like talk about it one day, you blow your mind how the system works there, and you see, wow, this is corruption. I don't want to hear it anymore because it's just all about corruption, just like dismantling like the whole generation. 3-4 generation of Iranian just got all dismantled because of their ideology, because of in the name of religion they came to the country and they milked the country and they sold the country, and this gonna keep going on and on and on and on. Until America are going to just like put the hand. Everything going to get burned under the leader of Iran, which is Khamenei, but he has got no power. He has got a little bit of power here and there, but it's always at 20, 30%. The rest is all the mafia sitting at the back in the I would say economy ministers, and there is a room for economy which all the all the trades happening there. So there are some people groups sitting from England, some people groups sitting on behalf of the Germans, Russia here, and everybody just taking a piece from that country. It's like a table full of food, and their savages are attacking to take it. And whatever leftovers goes to whoever live in Iran.
Let me ask you, if you're in the lower socioeconomic bracket, say you're our age, yeah?
Yes.
Would you be living on your own, or would you probably be living with family?
100% is going to be family, because you cannot afford it.
Can't afford anything.
No.
So if a bank clerk is making $300-400 a month,
yes,
what's a regular labourer making?
Same.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Regular. So there's no, I mean, here if you're working in the bank, you're probably going to be making a couple more bucks than a labourer.
Sure.
But even whether you're a labourer or not, let's just say, take us, yeah? We both leave our respective jobs and we say, let's go get a job stacking shelves or whatever it is, something very, very basic.
Sure.
Giving up luxuries that we have, we can still find somewhere to rent. You know what I mean? It's still enough to your salary will cover rent. You won't be living a comfortable life, but you'll have a roof over your head. What are you doing if you're 40 in Iran and you're not
You are either living with your parents. Most likely you're going to live with your parents. If not, you have no place to stay. What you do, you stay, I don't know, just wherever, friends' home. Yeah, it's tough. It's really, I'm hearing stories there. There are so many, people now that which they are struggling. And during this time, because the government is so, this situation is happening with the government, the people don't want to work anymore because they have no hope. There's no future. Yeah. What's the point of working so hard for $200-300 when you want to eat a pizza and it costs you $20?
Man, it's weird that you say that, because I think it mirrors Greece a lot. So I don't know how much you know about Greek politics and Greek history, right? But after World War II, the creation of the actual Greece as a country, all that sort of stuff, right?
Yep,
World War I, sorry. Fast forward, basically through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, Greek government just ate everything. Overtaxed, didn't do anything about it. And the one thing that I tell Greece, my cousins in Greece a lot, my family, when we talk about how we're overtaxed in Australia, at least I know where my money's going. I may not agree with where it all goes, but I know there's a receipt for it. You can't just hide money in Australia. Do you know what I mean? Typically there's receipts. It goes to social welfare, it goes to the roads, it goes to this, it goes to that. Problem in Greece is the government ate everything, left the people high and dry. The same potholes in Athens that are in downtown Glyfada have been there for the last 30 years. Do you know what I mean? And I see a lot of my family members, a lot of my cousins that are my age, and they've got a mentality, luckily, the family that I talk to, young kids, between 28 to 35, and they've got the mentality of work, hustle, find whatever you can to just build something, right? And keep at it. But most Greeks, man, they don't want to work because they're in their 30s, 40s, and they look at us and say, what's the point?
Yeah.
I've got a cousin who's married, who has a daughter, and he works as a nurse or something in medicine, something in a hospital. And with his credits, because he gets credits, based on his degree, based on the fact that he's married, based on he gets credits that accumulate towards his salary. He earns €800 a month.
Yep.
Nothing. We earn more than that,
sure.
in a week.
Yep.
A good wage here.
Yep.
And I looked at him and I said, hey, he meant to pay for anything. He just looked at me, he shrugged. He goes, you tell me, man. Because what's the point? I may as well go on unemployment. It's not that much different. Because I don't want to be like that. I want to work and do what I can and see what else I can do. The more he works, the more he gets seniority. And as you get seniority, you get more credits, your pay goes up, you're open to more, advancement and, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But it's so easy for someone to just say, I'm living with my grandmother now. She'll pass away. When she passes away, the house will be mine, and that's it. What else is there? It's sad, man.
It is. And look, most of these people, they have got something just happening there and just to stay with them. For example, the mother and father has got little, I don't know, a garden, whatever, and they go there and just build something in there and just go there and stay. A lot of the young generation, they don't want to marry anymore. in marriage, there is no point in a marriage because they cannot afford it. The girls' expectation are just much higher now. And then the society will comes in a way that everything's surrounded by money.
Yeah.
Because they see, in a society where I believe, and I shouldn't say that in this conversation just here.
Oh, no,
I believe that there are two forms of slavery in the world. Mm-hmm. One of them is the slavery of the politics and the social slavery. Social slavery is when you just you have no money, you sell your daughter to get money, or your daughter or your family or something, they have to just do bad things, like prostitution or something to just make money, right? But the politic sort of slavery is in a way that political slavery is in a way that when your government is gone and has got a problem with it, then what will happen is that your money is all going to go to the government, and then your family is going to be urged. So you will sell your country and your family, and this is worse. So like political slavery is worse than the other. That's why like it's just all happening now in Iran, that you will see like situations like everybody just all about money. They just get a little chance. There is no morals anymore, and this is gonna get less and less and less. Luckily, there are still people there that they come in a form of morality, religion. Sometimes the religion stops them. Like the religion say, for God's sake, we don't do this. In Islam, blah, 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 we don't, because it still has got a very strong belief in them. But the new generation is getting worse. And this is very, very scary with the new generation, which they don't believe in the country anymore because there is no hope. Not that it has been done by the mullahs. I don't believe it. This is a world order. Because Persian has got a root of 3,000 years, and if you go this 3,000 years, Persian always go down from Cyrus the Great, 3,000, 2,000, whatever years, come back up again, and go down and come back up again. History is going to be repeated. I don't know, maybe not in my generation, maybe not in my grandkids' generation, but maybe in like 40, 50 years, Iran goes like really high. And it's prosperous again for the people, and I'm hoping for that because they have been through a lot during these 40 years, and they deserve much better than what they are having right now. But this system will change. The system has to change. They're just waiting now. Everybody are waiting. I think they're all waiting for somebody like Donald Trump to come in this year, and then they wrap them up. It's supposed to happen before. And it didn't happen because Donald Trump kicked out. They were so happy. They invested a lot of money for the Joe Biden to come up. All those, whatever happened with Joe Biden's time. But I think this is like the end of it. This is just like the time where it's going to be like a finish. They are at the end of the tunnel. We are at the end of the tunnel and at the end of the darkness, and there is a light is coming up. And everything in that country is ready. There is no religion. There is nothing happening there. It's all they kick out this government, a new one coming in. And the new one is not from the young generation or something. The new one is themselves. Revolutionary Guard is going to be mixed with another name. It's same as when SAVAK is. SAVAK is like in Shah regime, SAVAK was like a MI6, like Australian Federal Police.
Yeah.
And where did they go? So the top leaders cut the head off. They got kicked out, and another 20, 30,000 members, when Khomeini come to power, they mixed them all up and they created a group called Revolutionary Guard. Because the war happened, they didn't have the military because they killed a lot of the air forces and all the pilots and everybody, and they created the revolutionary. So all these Revolutionary Guard are from SAVAK time, from the Shah regime intelligence service, and they come in. And the next regime is going to be the same. The people are taking that country in the last, the Western countries are taking all the money of this country for the last, 40 years. American is going to come and take it. Still, they want to benefit because they're superpowers. But when America go and invest in a country, they provide something as well. Same thing as they do with Singapore. Same thing as they do with UAE. Same thing as they do with Saudi Arabia. They say, you give us our cut, and we'll take it. And this is the way that just politics works.
Do you reckon your family's structure will change at all if a revolution happened? the way they operate everything, or they'll be
because they are not related to the government. They are like independent businessmen.
Okay.
So they won't. But lots of monies is going to get in the new revolution that happens. Lots of people are going to cry because of happiness and because they're going to lose all the life. A lot of rich people, because there is no cash, there is no riyals now in Iran, because there is no money, like a cash money. There's only, I think, about $100 billion worth of cash in there, in the society. Everything is in assets. Because, you know, like when I left Iran, $1 Australian was 450. Now $1 Australian is 40,000. So
what is 40,000?
40,000 toman. 40,000 gets me like 2 bottles of water, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. And you make like a bank clerk makes 11 million toman per year. So 11 million is about $300, maybe 300 something dollars. So it's not that much.
No.
So, but this is going to change. When I left, everything was cheaper. Now it's more expensive. Now you see like a massive gap, and I can't see it because I've kind of like raised in Iran, but at the same time I raised here when I see everybody are comfortable, and I'm thinking, what is the difference between these kids that goes to school so safe, is okay, the parent dropped them off, you know, like a Mercedes-Benz or whatever, and they go in and they complain and they come back or whatever, and then a kid's in there. When I used to go to school, we used to live next to a farm which they were growing tomatoes and eggplant, and that farm had like about 50 dogs, like wild dogs. And every morning I used to run because they were following me, and I have to throw them stones when I was 7 years old. So I'm like, why do you have to go with the car? And I have to just like go. And when it was raining, I have to just, my feet used to go in the muds, you know, in order to get there. So tough childhood, I tell you.
Okay, so hang on. Look, you sort of skipped the whole thing.
Yeah.
You keep talking about you, and then you go back to Iran and how fucking corrupt it is. It bothers you. Yeah?
No. Do you know what that is? Because they're all related. Because when I go to a story, I have to just explain it to just get a bit of more of my background. And I say, why do I like doing this way? You know, like for example, why do I go to Iran and I stay there and I've lost my job and I just like everything and I've lost everything. And I'm like, okay, I'm here, but what am I gaining? You know, I'm here with my family. It's okay. Let's just like have a, you know, society and just what's happening in the society. And you have to just like, I have to explain a little bit about the society, what's happening in there. So, okay, so I came back to Australia.
Lockdowns ended. And
lockdowns ended. I came back.
To the degree where you got back.
Yes, exactly. So I had a quarantine. I came back to Australia. Everything was gone. So I thought, okay, I'm going to start again. I sold my car. I sold my apartments that I had. I was living in Hawthorne. So just like I did that, and I just was gathered some money all around, and I wanted to buy a business with one of just like a sort of family member. So it's like a kind of like a very related family member. So he was working this electrical company. We thought, you know what, maybe he working there for a few years. So he said, let's just like do this and start a business together. We open it up. We wanted to just buy a warehouse and start like doing and I was okay. I was just like happy. I had like, I don't know, like whatever left was the house, cars, everything that I had like $500,000 just to wrap up.
So you've pulled all your assets because you were flush, you had nothing. So it's
I want to just put it all into the business. Yeah. And just back in, I think 2020, start of 2022, we wanted to just do it. We had like about a month and a half. I had some money in the share as well. The lithium share were booming. I put some of the monies in the share market. And
how did you learn about the share market?
Well, I started out doing it since 2015. I used to have a friend which was working for just one of the asset company here, and they were doing lots in like a sort of share and ASICs and trading and stuff. So I just like learned from her, and then she just like taught me a few things, and then I thought, okay, maybe I can just like go ahead. But I never was like a professional. I wasn't like studying and researching a lot because I was so busy. So I was just like relying on her. It's like, okay, if you think that this is good, and most of the stuff was good back then.
So you weren't researching stocks and companies. You were just relying on her information. You did a bit of reading and
a little bit of reading, yeah. And I thought, like for this is back in 2015. They said lithium booms. I just bought some lithium. All the share was gone. Like I think I put like about 80K in there. 80K turned out to be like 10, 15K, whatever. I just slept on it until 2021. It go all the way back up to, I don't know, like 100K. I pulled out, I put it all up together, and then I just like put in the share market again, and then they just all crashed in. Because I had like about 2 months until settlement of the warehouse. And the whole thing just like went down. So 500,000 is worth nothing right now. 90% down.
Jesus.
And I did it all in the penny stocks. So I did it all, some in lithium,
Wall Street.
some in gold. Pardon?
Like Wolf of Wall Street. Well, penny stocks. You were on the phone. I've got an opportunity for you, man.
Well, like it was just, I actually made very, very good money for the first 10 days. I made like about $250,000 in 10 days. From $500,000, I make it 750. I sold it and I just like spurred out through like a different type of thing. And some of them I sold and I just lost. Some of them I just like made a bit of money, but the one that I just like, sometimes like how you want to like average down, like, and it's just the price come further down and further down. So most of the ASX companies, like especially the penny stock, the smaller stocks, they're just like really down at the moment. It's just because I don't know, back then was 2.5%. The bank was just like paying 1.5% with the like loans and everything. 2022 started to just, inflation goes higher. They just like increase the interest rate. So
quick question. Where were you living when you sold your apartment, sold your car, sold everything?
So I rented a place in, Glen Huntly. This is where I live at the moment. So I'm renting at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, just for context, I'm just trying to figure this out.
Yes. So, so that business like didn't happen anymore because I just like didn't want to just pull out. This is just like where it's sitting. I was like, okay, just where am I going to start? And then, I was like, okay, this is not a nice like start as I come back to Australia. I went to Dubai. So for the first time, I just thought, you know what? I've got a very good life. Let me just like listen to my family member, just go there and just like start doing something. So I went there and started in real estate and just like selling. There was this company called Dubai Properties, which is selling a lot of like, I don't know, like houses and penthouses and apartments and a lot of projects in Dubai. Dubai, the reason why I went there was because in 2021, when the war happened, Ukraine and Russia, a lot of Russians' money pulled out from Europe and America and they all went to Dubai. And the money is poured in Dubai. So in the last 2 years, the house prices has gone up by 200%.
In Dubai?
In Dubai, yes, 200%. So like my nephews, just like, let's say they're buying a house, like when I said like an apartment, they buy for 1.5, 1.6 in, let's say 2020. Now it's like about 5.5 million dirham. It's just because there's so much money in there. Like this trip that I was there, they were just like Rolls Royce everywhere. Like Lamborghinis are everywhere, and all this money is just coming to this because Dubai is a center of, I would say, money laundering. When you cannot, like, because it's a tax-free country. It's same as Iran. Iran is a tax-free. This is one of the reasons where Iran is just sitting where it is because it's a tax-free country. Like, rich people don't get taxed.
Yeah,
like the guy buying a house, let's say for $500,000. 2 years later, he sell it for like about $2 million. How is this possible?
Nothing goes back to the government.
Exactly.
Nothing goes back to social services. Nothing goes back to anyone. Yeah.
And there is no government because government is corrupted himself. Because anytime that you just say, why don't you pay tax, blah, 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 and they go, look, where is all this gas going? Where is all this oil? We sell like about 5 million barrel of oil per day. Where is it going? Which is correct. Which is like, this is rich, like everywhere that you put your hand in there. Like Iran is number 2 producer of gas in the world. And the next war, I believe in Iran, is not the oil anymore. It's the war of gas. Because all the car are going to get electric. We're getting all the products from the gas. So the gas either come from Russia, Qatar, and Iran. So these 3 countries are the main producer of gas for the world. Russia going to have his own sort of whatever shares. Going to produce it to Europe, China here and there, and then America are going to come and put the hand and take the gas from Iran and give some like money, whatever, because Iran has got so many resources, sharing with Qatar.
Question: when you went to Dubai and you started in real estate, who did you work for? How did you get into there?
So back in 2013, when I finished my my bachelor degree, before I started my PhD, while I was just like doing that, I went back to Dubai to start working as an engineer in Dubai. And I met this company called Properties, where they were just doing just like a lot of development project. And I met like a friends there, here and there, and they were like my nephew's friend as well. So they used to go out all the time. They just started it back then, 2013. And then she's this girl from Netherlands, where she is booming now. She was like one of the top agents in Dubai property. There are like 7 top agents there, and they get cuts and very, very successful, extremely successful now. Like when I say successful, like they buy very quick, like the transaction is very high, you know, and it's very fast. It's not the difference between Australia, which I kind of like it, is it's very slow paced. It's not too much of a rush that it goes. It's bad, but it's good.
Wait, in what sense of transactions?
In economy transactions, you know, like for example, when you go to Hong Kong, a Hong Kong person or a businesswoman or whatever, they 7 o'clock in the morning, they're just like doing a business, always multi-passive incomes from everywhere until like 10 p.m. Even when they have a dinner with somebody, not a family, they're having a dinner with somebody to sit there and do some form of business with them. Here, there, just socializing all the time. Same thing happened in Dubai. In Dubai, you just like buy watches and sell watches, buy cars and sell cars. Like you have many connection of friends because everybody is so rich. So you just want to be around them all the time to just like do business and just like do.
So
like,
everyone has multiple streams of income, and any social network, any social gathering of any kind is really just an after hours business.
That is
sort
correct.
Of thing.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Like my nephews, for example, they live in Dubai. They have got a construction business. They've got a fit out company. They've got few chain of restaurants. Like they have got like they whatever it comes in. Like you just call them and say, hey, look, I'm just like selling this microphone right now. It's just so cheap. Just going sell it on eBay, Amazon. Yep. Just send me I don't know, $20,000 and we start to see how we go. They're open for business. Where here, they're more of like a chill and relax, and it's just like, you know, just like we stay here.
Do you think it's fear?
It's fear of, yes, it's kind of like fear of when you see everybody are having a success there and it's just so comfortable and rich. And this is how the society grows. You know, you want it to just be like one of them, you know, like when I go there, I'm so relaxed and everybody tells me, man, you don't have a brain for just like what's happening to you, you know, like you don't think about business. Let's do this. And they're risking it. Where here, you just have got a job. You enjoy your life with your friends. You work 8 hours. You don't work 8 hours there, you know, just like you're always just like doing something, you know, like.
I said that. I tweeted it not long ago. I may have mentioned in another podcast. I tweeted it. I was talking to someone who was saying how they work hard and they've worked hard and now they're taking it easy and they're looking for another way and blah, blah, blah. And I thought about their employment history. Nothing about their employment history said anything about working hard. And I remember tweeting it, turning up to your job and going home is not working hard.
No.
That is not working hard.
No.
Working hard is getting up at 6:30 in the morning to do work before you go to work, and then working after hours to build something else. That's working hard.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is. I don't believe that working hard is just like a 9-to-5 job that is just like going. No. Working hard is when you socialize and network with people and you brainstorm and when you come up with a new idea and you have a passive income. Those passive income making you more money than, I don't know, something like you name it. I've got a lot of connections now in China and Hong Kong. Like you say, you know what, Robbie, I want to bring, I don't know, like a camp house. I just call somebody in China and they organize a camp house for you, all the prices and everything, and just, it's ready to do just like business here.
Yeah.
Or just like, you know what, I want to just like this is what my brothers tell me. It's just that, you know what, this is your profession, which you'll do in spare part. It's so familiar. Why don't you just go to China and then just like, I don't know, to Japan somewhere and just bring some of these goods to Australia and sell it in the market and start from somewhere. And I'm like, because I'm used to Australian standard, you know, I'm just lazy. I'm fine wherever I am. You know? Not that I don't want to just be successful or anything, but I just see life differently from the other people. But yeah, so just all went down. And
sorry, man. I don't think you see life differently. I think that you've seen it, what they're talking about. You've done it, but you did it from a young age where you were working through high school, you know, and then by the time you were 23, you already were making money for yourself. And you've seen the high, you've seen the low. You're just accepting a different part of it now because that's what you want for yourself. I don't think you see it differently. I think as in you recognize it and you've lived it. You're just choosing to do something different. Does that make sense?
Correct. You're correct. Yes.
Because you do
correct.
see it and you still got hustle in you. Because if we stop recording and I came up with an idea, say, hey man, you want to invest in this, it'll tickle the back of your head because I'm local. I'm local and I hustle my ass off as well. So it's like, okay, there's got to be some worth to this. Let me suss it out. So I reckon it's different. I think you've lived it on both extremes and now you're just finding where you're happiest.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Correct.
I'm not trying to analyze it. No. This is what it looks like.
You're absolutely right.
Because I can see the eyes. They're crazy.
It's just something, like when you jump from one business and into just land, you have got so much of ups and downs, then you won't take, look, now I'm just like, let's say I'll go back to Dubai. I had all these, great opportunities there as well. I decided to come back to Australia and I just came back to Australia and just I want to just do like a real estate again, right? Yeah. Now I'm working real estate. I don't make enough much because I'm starting from the ground again, but
it'll build, it'll build.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. All I see that if I want to be successful in this business, I will be very successful. I believe this in me that you leave me in Africa, you leave me just anywhere. And instead, Robbie, you're here by your own. We come back 10 years. Come back 10 years, I am going to do something. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to start opening up a zoo or something. Just bringing all these investors from China and, Europe to just come and see my zoo, But you must have a passion for it. Right now, what I have passion for is to have a good life, comfortable life, not a good. I don't want to be very, very rich because I've seen it.
It's extravagant. That's what you don't want.
Exactly.
There's a happy medium in between all of it.
Yeah, exactly. I've lived in a palace, and I think I mentioned it to you this last time. I lived in a palace. I lived in a very comfortable life, and I have lived in a very shit life with no money as well. Very, very hard time. From my childhood, and once I was in Australia, I was very miserable at some stage. I had nobody, and I just had no money, and I just not that I could have made a lot of money, but I've always been happy. I've always think there is something or somebody that grabbed my hand and I said, you know what, come on, let's just do something. And that is me, myself, that I'm just telling myself. And this is all relates back to those meditation that I do, that I say sometimes I do meditate and I just I talk to myself and there is some light start inside of me and then some ideas comes. That's why I think that the young generation here in Australia, they have so many potential and opportunity once they get out of this social medias and all this crap that's just happening around them, and they just think what's the best for them and just find themselves, because unless you don't find yourself, you won't be able to be successful.
Let me ask you a question. The people around you, people you consider friends in your social group, whatever, are they like you, driven, when you look at them as people and what they do for work or what drives them and all that, or are they all 9-to-5ers? How does that sort of sit?
I have a group of people here which are my very, very close friends, my best friends since I've been in Australia, and some of them I know them afterward. They started very basic. They're very successful. Most of them, they don't think like me, I believe. I'm a person, I have traveled, about 35, 37, nearly 40 countries around the world. They haven't traveled, they haven't done, because they have always worked. They're very successful. One owns an engineering company, has got more than 10 houses. Down in Melbourne, down the beach, here, there. One is just, I've got 2-3 houses. They're all married, they're very comfortable. One is doctor, this wife is doctor. They're very comfortable life. They just had a kid. Another one is just dentist, they just have got their own dentistry. The doctor has got their own clinics and everything. So they're very successful. But sometimes when you're just having a conversation with them, they say the way that you think is just so different from the way that we think, and I always tell them as well, so what's the point of you just, let's say for instance, getting married, and I'm happy for them that they're married and they're having a kids, when you can have so many things. You would be able to have married and have kids and all that in Iran. Why did you just come here to do this? Because you have got so many other opportunities are here which you can explore. They are different from me. I believe they haven't had a childhood that I had, because some of them are raised here, some of them are come here at a very young age, with they had like a high school, or they came with a family here, so they are different. I think I'm the only one which I came here by myself, and another friend as well, but he's gone different path. I've gone like a different path as well. Yeah. I would want to be able to one day, and this is one of my wish, is to be able to, I am kind of like sponsoring few people back in Iran, like a kids, like an orphanage and stuff, the one that don't have any family, and I just would like to, but I just want to create some form of comfort in the countries where the people need it, you know. Because I think there are so many people in this world which, when I put a smile in the face, that makes me very, very happy, extremely, in Australia and outside of Australia. Not financially, just sometimes when I just say something and I feel something, and I just like feel that they are happy. This is very, very, very important. But I think I need to have a lot of more experience in life. I've had a lot of experience in order to understand why I'm here in this world, and I will continue to enjoy it. And I think when I'm on an older age, I would go back to Iran.
To live permanently?
To live permanently. And I die there, probably.
Okay.
I don't want to die here. I think I want to die there. I want to die there in my dad's village. He's got a village from, I think, about 1500 years, about 2000 years. It's right in the mountain. It's just a beautiful, beautiful. It's like a grape, sort of like a village. There are a lot of grapes. It's like where the Shiraz grapes come from. It's like with a fantastic, it's all like wild grapes and stuff. And I want to my brother has got a villa there. It's very peaceful. It's right in the mountains, closest to the sky, and you see stars every single night when you sleep on the roof. So
you should go to my village, man, in Greece. In the mountains, there's no villas, there's no luxury, but that village has been there. My grandfather built the house after the Germans tore down the last one during World War II. So my mum was born and raised in that house. It's still there. My cousins actually have 3-4 generations have all gone through that house. But that's mountains, X kilometers above sea level, you know, and that's in a vineyard area as well. Some of the best wines in Greece come from just down, like 10 k's down the road. Yeah, I know what you mean.
when I was 4 years old, I used to walk with my dad in that village. Like we used to walk like about 5 kilometers or something, like about like an hour and a half to just get there. And my sister used to live in that village. She just got married, and that house there, last year that I went back to Iran, I went and I saw the same house with the same shape, exactly the same bed that I slept on, and I was like, this is good. I want to sleep on this. And my brother was like, look, the house is there. I said, no, I want to sleep on this. This is reminding me of my childhood. And that house is right built inside the mountain, so there is no constructions or anything. So they have digged the mountain, and they have shaped it like sort of like an oval sort of shape in the mountain, and you sleep in it. And it's a very, very peaceful and relaxing.
White people will pay thousands of dollars to sleep in there.
True.
So we're going to go back there. We're going to start an Airbnb. All right, this is where we're going to make money.
See, you've got a very, very, very good ideas. And this is what I say all the time. You know what? Once that. Everybody is scared to come to Iran because they think that Iran is like scary and gonna get arrested or this and that. There is nothing as such. Yes, if you go in there and you want to just dig a lot in the governments and you put your nose into the government assets and governments, whatever, you know, military service here and there, yes, you're going to be in trouble. Which nobody cares about them because they have nothing anyway. This is all show.
I've always wanted to go to Iran. Some of the world's prettiest mosques are all in Iran, man. Like, they're just incredible.
Shiraz. Yeah. My city, like Shiraz, is like the best. And a lot of poem like Hafiz and Sari and Persepolis is right next to it. It's like about 50 kilometers away. In Shahpur, they've got the ancient history that's come from that city and also the other city.